Hello folks and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at yet another new Baofeng model that's just been released. It's this one here, which is the Baofeng 5RH Pro. Now you'd probably be immediately forgiven for thinking, well, it doesn't look very new, it looks extremely like the UV5RM or the UV5RH, and just to prove that, I mean, I have a UV5RH right here, and if we compare the two radios side by side, they look virtually identical. Button layout, everything seems to be the same, but apart from the on-off knob on the 5RH Pro is orange, whereas on the 5RH the on-off knob is just plain black. If you turn them on,
welcome, channel mode,
you can see that there is a difference in the screens. The 5RH Pro has a black background screen, and the UV5RH has a blue background screen. But other than that, they're pretty much identical. On the top there is a difference. The UV5RH retains the flashlight on top, but the new 5RH Pro doesn't have a flashlight, and what replaces the flashlight is a GPS module. So this new model, the Baofeng 5RH Pro, contains GPS. So that's something new, but it doesn't just stop there. They also claim that this radio has APRS. Now, I know absolutely nothing about APRS. I even had to Google what it meant. Automatic packet relay system, as far as I know. I know nothing about it. And it's a bit of a mystery to me, so I'm not going to claim that I know anything about it. Obviously there's folks out there who do know about it and what it does and what its capabilities are. As far as I know, it's just like a tracking system. Not entirely sure, but as I say, I'm not going to go into any detail on APRS. I'm just showing you this new model. It makes a lot of bold claims. Not only does it have GPS and APRS, apparently, but it also has Bluetooth, apparently. So quite a few new features, and quite a step away from the traditional type of Baofeng radio. I mean, previously we had a model with GPS in it, which was this one, the UV17 Pro GPS.
channel mode,
And it was quite revolutionary in that it came with GPS functionality built into it. But now the new Baofeng 5RH Pro has taken another step forward with having both APRS and Bluetooth built into it as well. So a very interesting new addition to the Baofeng range. It's just been released. Presently there's no programming software available for it on Chirp. I did manage to get CPS software for it from the people whom I bought it from on AliExpress, who were able to provide me with a link where I was able to download CPS software for it. And I've actually, if anybody is interested in finding that software, I uploaded it to the Baofeng radio users group on Facebook. So if you want to find that software, you'll find it there. And also on the Baofeng UV17 Pro GPS Facebook group. Uploaded it to that one too. If anybody's interested in downloading the CPS software for the radio, because the existing CPS softwares don't work with this radio. It has a lot of new features in it, and for instance, the programming software for the UV5RH just won't work with the new radio. So the only software available is the new CPS software. So if you need that, as I say, go on to the Facebook groups, the Baofeng users Facebook groups, and I've uploaded it to there if you want it. But yeah, very interesting little radio. Pretty traditional layout, if you like. As I say, anybody who's familiar with the UV5RH or the UV5RM will immediately feel at home with it. But there are differences, as I say, in the screen. The screen in the new 5RH Pro, it looks a bit different. And it has things like the squelch level in yellow lettering there. And it also has the volume level, which is new. And it's also has zones as well, in similar fashion to the UV17 Pro GPS. It has zones, so you can divide your channels up into groups of 100. Instead of having one big list of 999 channels, you can divide them up into zones, which is a nice feature. Just having a look at the radio in general. On the side we have our three buttons. The top button, which opens the squelch on the radio. Our middle button, of course, is our push to talk button. And on the bottom we have our FM broadcast radio.
How much food was left and if someone had planted enough potatoes.
So pretty traditional button layout on the left. We'll come round to the other side and we have the usual Kenwood type two-pin plug on that side for plugging in an earpiece or a standard Baofeng two-pin programming cable. So that's nice. As I say, on the top, slightly different. It has the orange on-off knob, which is similar to the UVK5 Plus Baofeng. It also looks a bit like the Quanchang on-off knob as well. I say we've lost the flashlight now. It's been replaced by the GPS module. So slightly different on the top. It's pretty standard sort of rubber duck whip type antenna. Not terribly brilliant. I think if anyone has this radio, they probably want to replace it with a better antenna, but it does the job. So yeah, not too bad. Around the back we have our usual belt clip. It's optional whether you attach that or not. I do. It's attached to the radio, not to the battery, so that's nice. Good solid belt clip on there. If we look at the battery release catch is on the top there. We just push it down and we can pull our battery out. And looking at the battery, we can see that it is actually a 2500 milliamp hour battery, 18.5 watt hours. So nice battery. 7.4 volts, of course, 2500 milliamp hour. So yeah, fairly solid little battery, and it comes with the USB charging port on the back as well. So that's always a nice feature to have, is the option of USB charging. The radio does come with a cradle charger as well. As we can see, it's got the 2 pins on the back there for the cradle charger. So yeah, you can either charge it via the cradle charger or via USB-C. So nice touch there as well. On the back, if we look at the back at the label on the back, we can see the TX frequencies there, and we've got 136 to 174 megahertz, 200 to 260 megahertz, and 400 to 520 megahertz. So the radio's not it's not locked to ham bands as such for TX. It is capable of TXing on anything within those ranges. So it does 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and also the American 1.25 meter ham band if you're in the United States. Of course, we don't use that in the UK here, but it is available for anyone in the United States. So our battery just clips in, just a simple push-in, clip in. And then we get round to the front. On the front we have
Welcome, channel mode.
our orange VFO-MR, which is a frequency mode and channel mode button. Everyone who's ever owned a Baofeng will probably be familiar with that.
Frequency mode. Channel mode.
And below that again, the A-B button to switch from the top to the bottom frequency. You can see the way it lights up when we switch from top to bottom. So yeah, that's pretty traditional one there. And also a button which is increasingly popular on the Baofengs, the more newer, the more modern ones, is this green button on the bottom right, which is a frequency search button. So if we hold that one down, the radio will start to look for any radio that is transmitting within range, and it will pick up the frequency and any CT, CSS or DCS tones that the radio is transmitting as well. So a nice feature there as well, which we're seeing a lot more on Baofeng radios. Alphanumeric layout keypad and green and orange buttons. The green button of course accesses your menu, and the red button is your sort of go back, step out of your menu. But the menu itself is interesting because we can see it's a lot more involved than the usual menu on a Baofeng. Contains a lot more features within it. And if we start and have a look in the menu, we can see we have our different banks here. We have zone, we have scan, we have radio settings, program channel, radio info, Bluetooth. Now there's a thing that we don't usually see on a Baofeng analog radio is Bluetooth. And if we go into that, we have the option to switch Bluetooth on or off. And you also have the option to give your Bluetooth device a name. So if we turn our Bluetooth on in the menu and come out of there, we'll switch it on just for a second. It's off by default. And we come out of there, we now see that we have a Bluetooth icon has appeared on the screen up at the top. So the radio does appear to have Bluetooth built into it. Now, I did try to connect the radio to my phone via Bluetooth and I didn't succeed in it. So the jury's out on the Bluetooth. I don't know whether you need Baofeng software or whatever to connect to the Bluetooth or whatever, but I'm just saying that I personally couldn't connect my phone to the radio, but that's maybe just my fault. But it does appear to have Bluetooth functionality on the radio. So back to the menu again.
Menu.
Zone at the top, so we can add zones in this radio. Similar to the, as I said, the Baofeng UV17 Pro GPS, you can divide your channels up into banks of 100. We have our scan functionality there as well. Usual stuff, you know. We've still got the frequency ranger there. They never corrected that typo, but you have your various settings for scanning in there. So that's the scanning setting. Your radio setting is just the general settings for the radio, you know, your squelch, power save, Vox, timeout timer, voice, language, beep, Roger. They've actually spelt that correctly for once. Instead of Podger, we've got a Roger. Your backlight, the brightness now, that seems to be a new feature as well. Generally speaking, you couldn't adjust the brightness on the screen of Baofeng, but that seems to be a new feature. I may be wrong. I don't recall seeing it before on any other of the analog Baofengs. So you can actually adjust the brightness of the screen, which is nice. Power on display, dual watch. An interesting thing about dual watch, if you set your radio turn off dual watch, which you can do, you can turn it off in the menu. In other words, the radio doesn't flick between the top and bottom frequencies, checking them both at the same time. If you turn it off and you come out, you'll see that the screen has changed. We just have our A frequency displayed there on the screen. There's no B frequency, but what that does is it actually increases the size of the font. So for anyone with slightly poor eyesight, that may be an advantage. You can still go into your B frequency by using your blue AB button and switch between A and B manually. But as I say, the font is increased greatly. The only disadvantage is that you lose the name of the channel because the font is enlarged. You wouldn't be able to fit in all the name and the channel number and the frequency. It would just be too large to all fit in. So they drop the name and you just get the channel number and the frequency, but no name. So an interesting feature there once again.
Menu.
Back into our menu. Radio setting, back down to, I'll put it back to the way it was, just so as you can see how it normally looks. So we'll turn our dual watch back on again. Double weight is the default. So we come out there and we're back to the normal view screen where we have your A and B options, and the radio will flick back and forth between those two to check both frequencies simultaneously. I actually don't particularly like dual watch. I prefer to turn it off, and there is a third option there in the dual watch menu to have dual watch turned off but still have the display with your A and B frequencies showing on the screen. So if we go in there into dual watch and go down to signal weight and select that one, come out, then we can see that we have back to our normal screen. But excuse me folks, I'll just adjust the lighting a bit there. The sun's got a bit bright. Yeah, we've got our A and B, but you'll see on the bottom frequency that the speaker has a little cross through it to indicate that it's not actually monitoring the B channel anymore, it's just monitoring A. But you can still have the A and B displayed on your screen. So yeah, that's another option in the menu. I think that one's pretty new as well.
Menu.
So back into our menu and into our radio settings again. Scroll down through, see if there's anything else new in there. Alarm mode ID. All your usual features there, pretty much standard. Apart from that, you know, your A and B and the dual watch settings, and the brightness seems to be a new feature. Your program channel menu, pretty standard stuff there, just for programming a channel into the radio via the buttons. Next item down is your radio info. In this case, your version. It gives you your firmware version and your hardware version, and my radio ID. You can give your radio a name in there as well. So presumably that radio ID is to do with the GPS functionality, should you wish to use that feature. And the next one down, as I said, is the Bluetooth menu. We can switch your Bluetooth on or off, and we can also give your radio a name, for Bluetooth identifying name.
Menu.
So that's pretty new as well. So underneath Bluetooth, we then come into the GNSS, which of course is your GPS settings. And if we go in there, we can see we have the option to turn your GPS on or off. By default, it's turned off in the radio. So if you want to use that function, you're going to have to turn it on. So I'll turn it on here so that we just have it. So that we can display the functionality of the GPS. Your GPS info is in there. My position, share position, request position, and number 4 in the menu is interesting because in there it says APRS. Now that's something that has never appeared on any analog Baofeng that I've seen. And if we go into that menu, it just says off or on. So we have the option of switching APRS off or on. So that's interesting. We have in the GNSS menu, you have the usual my position, share position, request position, but the bottom one is the APRS functionality, which is included in the GPS menu. So, as I say, whether this is a sort of a basic cut down version of APRS or whatever, I really don't know. I'm not an expert on APRS at all. I know virtually nothing about it, but I'm just letting folks know that this radio apparently has APRS functionality built into it. So it also has NOAA weather. Of course, that will only apply to our friends in the United States. That doesn't work in the UK. We don't have it over here. So, but it's there for any of our anyone who's in the USA. It will be of interest to them. They know a weather feature. So yeah, a very interesting menu there. Contains a lot of new features that we haven't previously seen before on a Baofeng analog radio. I'm intrigued by the APRS and the Bluetooth functionality. I mean, we've obviously seen GPS before on the UV17 Pro GPS, but to have the new features of APRS and Bluetooth in a new Baofeng analog radio is intriguing. To activate the GPS, it's similar to the 17 Pro GPS in that once you've turned it on in the menu, you just long press the red button on the right hand side, and that will bring up your GPS screen. As we see here, it hasn't acquired a signal yet. There's no actual reading coming up on the screen. You have your little north, south, east and west circle here on the right hand side, and on the top you have your longitude, and on the bottom you have your latitude. It can take quite a while to acquire a GPS signal. I mean, I'm indoors at the minute, so it'd probably acquire the signal a lot faster if you're outside, but it does work. I have checked the GPS and compared it with my UV17 Pro GPS, and they both get exactly the same readings. Interestingly, the new 5RH Pro doesn't have an altitude setting on it, but I'm not surprised at that, because there was a flaw with the 17 Pro GPS in that the altitude setting was that seldom was accurate. So they seem to have dropped that from the new 5RH Pro. But it does work, it is accurate. It will give you an accurate GPS position, and if you had two of these radios, I don't, I just have this one, but presumably it would work in a similar fashion to the UV17 Pro GPS, in that you can request a GPS location from a similar radio, similar model using the same firmware. So although it has GPS, it is limited. It is kind of proprietary system that Baofeng uses, but it does work. So it's nice to know that it actually has GPS functionality. So it has GPS, APRS and Bluetooth apparently. When the GPS is activated, you will get this little icon at the top of your screen here, which is a little GPS icon to indicate that your GPS is turned on. So that's it. Just on the name of the radio, for anyone who's thinking of buying this, don't get confused with the two radios. The difference is that this radio is called the Baofeng 5RH Pro. It is not called a UV or a BF or any letters in front of it. It is simply a Baofeng 5RH Pro, and that's what really differentiates it from the older model with no GPS or no APRS, because they have letters in front of the number. They will either have a UV or a BF in front of the first number. In this case, it's the UV5RH. There is also the UV5RM, but they are two different radios which do not have the same functionality as the Baofeng 5RH Pro. So I actually bought this radio from on AliExpress from Baofeng Specialty Radio Store. If anyone is thinking of purchasing the radio, I had a very good experience with them. The radio came quickly, well packaged, and their service, after sales service, was good, because as I said, I was having difficulty sourcing software for the radio, because neither Chirp nor pre-existing CPS softwares were working for it. So I contacted Baofeng Specialty Radio Store, and they very quickly pointed me to a link where I could download the software, which is what I did. I downloaded the CPS software for it, and as I say, I have uploaded that to the Baofeng radio users groups on Facebook. So if anybody needs that software, that's where they can locate it. So there, just on the subject of the software, I have it loaded onto my computer here, and if we go over and we'll take a look at it, we can see that it's not like the usual Baofeng sort of basic software. we have our usual menu along the top, but we also have a fairly complex looking menu structure down the side as well. And if we scroll down through it, we can see that there's a lot of extra stuff in there, some of which I just don't understand, because, as I said, I don't have any knowledge of APRS. But we can see down at the bottom of the menu we have the APRS here, and if we click on it and expand that out, we can see it brings up this box here, an APRS box, and you've got call sign, SSID, self, target. No doubt all this will mean something to someone who actually understands the functionality of APRS. It means nothing to me because I really don't know what it's all about. But for someone who does, obviously this is something to do with setting up the APRS functionality of the radio. So it's in there in the software, and in the bottom you also have your GPS setup, which is a bit more familiar to me, as it's similar to what the GPS software is like in the UV17 Pro GPS. But as I say, it's an interesting deviation from the normal kind of thing that we have on our Baofeng radio. The menu seems a lot more complex. There seems to be a lot more in this new radio, you know, it's there's even something like you know, this BIIS setting. I have no idea what that is. Emergency system. There's stuff like lone worker stuff in it, which is all sort of kind of veering towards digital technology, really. So this radio, this new model, the 5RH Pro, has really taken quite a significant step forward for the development of Baofeng analog radio technology. It's including a lot more stuff in it, a lot of which I don't understand and probably will never use, to be honest. But it seems to be the way that analog radios are developing now. They seem to be including more digital technology into an analog radio. So very interesting from that point of view. I just thought I would do this introduction to the radio to you. As I become more familiar with it and its features, I'll probably do subsequent videos on it, and including a power test and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the new Baofeng 5RH Pro APRS, GPS, Bluetooth radio. So yeah, it's certainly been an experience for me seeing all these new features on it, even though in my ignorance I really don't know how to access and use some of them. But as I say, it'll be a learning curve for me, and hopefully as time goes on and more people become familiar with the radio, including me, I'll be able to advise people a lot more on it. But for now, folks, I'll just say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to. But for the time being, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.